Chris Williams, Chris Hassel. Two guys named Chris. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Iowa Everywhere.
Channel Seed. Seedsmanship at work.
Hello, welcome to Two Guys Named Chris. It is Thanksgiving Eve. I don't even know if that's a thing, but it's the day before Thanksgiving. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery here in the Channel Seed Studios. Will be a somewhat abbreviated show, although you guys probably won't notice much of a difference, just a little bit shorter. I am in Orlando with Iowa State basketball. Hassel is doing what he normally does. He'll be heading to Seattle here in just a couple of days. Matty Van Winks holding the fort down.
What's up, brothers? How we doing? Happy Thanksgiving.
In the great state of Iowa. You
okay,
too,
was
man.
the horrible internet, was that Williams at the start, or was that me?
No, that was you. You looked like you were being sucked up by like a microwave or something.
That was me.
It was well warped and whatnot.
What kind of internet they got there at CBS anyways? Come on.
I don't know. I just couldn't really hear a word you were saying. So
you're better now. You're better.
Standard intro stuff. You're good.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
How's Florida
to
treating
you
you
as well? It's fine. I didn't realize how muggy it is down here in November.
Well, sure. I mean, it's Florida, brother. When you're up north of me a few hours, but I would expect the highs to be around 80 each day. Am I wrong?
To be honest, when I'm doing these trips, I don't really get to go out and do much. It's just pretty much staying in the hotel, and then you go to tournaments, and then you come back, and then you get ready for the next day. It's 3 games in 4 days, so it's a lot of work, but it's fun. I enjoy it. They're great.
It's only 2 hours a day, though. I mean, you got 22 other hours to just kind of do whatever the hell you want, right?
Yeah, but I still have my other jobs, you know.
What other jobs?
I've got Cyclone Fanatic to run. We've got it's the busiest week of the year in college athletics. You think about it like that. You got football, men's basketball, women's basketball. You got the wrestling duel coming up on Friday, which is going to break all sorts of probably TV records, I would think, for the sport of wrestling, which is going on in our state. So, yeah, it's just there's a lot going on. When do you head to Seattle?
Going to Seattle on Friday morning, Black Friday morning. Flying out there through Atlanta, and then I take a red eye back on Saturday night. So hopefully going to avoid the crazy rush on Sunday, which is always the busiest travel day of the year. How are you in Florida for? Does it depend on if Iowa State wins, or are there guaranteed games?
Guaranteed games. So I will be back Sunday night in some capacity. It just depends. Okay. If they're in the championship game, I think it's at like noon Iowa time, and it would lead into the wrestling duel.
So what's so big about this wrestling duel this year? What's so different about
it? It's the first ever nationally ESPN televised wrestling duel in the history of the sport.
And that's what's making it big? It's not like, does Iowa State actually have a chance to win for once?
I would actually think Iowa State might be favored.
And when's the last time they won? 20 years ago?
2004.
Okay. So maybe that's why. I mean, it's not just because it's on ESPN.
Well, it'll be sold out, which Hilton never sells out for wrestling, and there'll be a lot of Iowa fans there. There always are. But no, ESPN put out. I didn't see all the things. They put out a big release this week about they're doing a bunch of wrestling. They're going to get into that, but yeah, this is kind of like their kickoff to, I think, getting more into that sport, and they're using our state to showcase it. So. Anyways, neither you or I know too much about that. We feel like we know a little bit more about football and basketball, at least. Let's get into these games because, again, we don't have a ton of time today to do this. Iowa is now a little bit of an underdog to Nebraska. The Circa line has moved quite a bit in this one. There's at least a feeling out there, Chris, that Nebraska is playing for bowl eligibility, and everything is kind of on the table for Iowa with its Big Ten West championship. What do you think so far?
You mean off the table? Like Iowa's already won it.
Yeah.
Nebraska's playing for bowl eligibility, which I think for most teams most years, that's not that big a thing. But for Nebraska, after the years they've had, and this is another restart with Matt Rule, I think this would actually be like a big step for this program. And I think we're starting to see that in the line. Not only are they playing for something, Iowa's not really playing for anything other than another win. And if you want to say Nebraska's a rival and you just want to beat them, and I'm sure a lot of people do, that's it. I mean, this has no bearing. It's going to have no bearing on the Big Ten standings. It really doesn't matter in the rankings. I mean, unless I guess you care that much about where Iowa's ranked. I mean, they're not going to be in playoff position, so it really doesn't matter that much there either. Do you want to keep the momentum going to the Big Ten championship, or do you just want to kind of focus more of your attention on that? What would you rather have if you're a fan of the Hawkeyes? What would you rather see happen?
I mean, I don't think you can look past the rivalry, like in any scenario. I just don't. Like, it's Iowa fans hate Nebraska, right?
Well,
like this seems to me like an easy excuse if you lose to be like, it didn't matter. Like, it's built in, but like deep down, I think people would be really pissed because
I think deep down you want to beat Nebraska, but I would say this is the least important game of the season for Iowa. It's the rivalry, and that's it. You've already locked up everything you were playing for. It's not going to be the difference in some major bowl game and some crappy bowl game. I think can you think of a game that was less important than this? Like win or lose?
Would be like the openers and stuff. Yeah,
but that does become important if you lose it.
That's true. I see what you're saying. I still think that people will be pissed if they lose because it's Nebraska.
I'm not saying they won't be pissed. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, the importance that Kirk Ferentz and that staff's always talking about with these trophy games too, with these rivalry games.
Yeah,
that's a big deal to them.
It's a trophy that was just made up a few years ago.
Is it still presented by Hy-Vee that they just manufactured that?
It's the Heroes Trophy. Is it the Hy-Vee Heroes Trophy?
It used to be.
It's the Hy-Vee Cyhawk series.
It was incredibly corporate. No, it's the Iowa Corn. Get it right.
Iowa Corn Cyhawk series? I thought it was the Hy-Vee Cyhawk series.
No, Hy-Vee Heroes game is what I'm seeing.
Oh, my God.
It makes it worse.
Yes.
Because it feels like they just
as an Iowa
created
fan,
it so.
Obviously, I want them to win the game. Be great. You get 10 wins. You go into the Big Ten championship game on a little bit of a run. You've got another trophy. You beat Nebraska again. But I don't see this as much of a rivalry right now. I don't. And I think Nebraska winning might help make this more of a rivalry because Iowa has just killed them lately. I know they lost last year. But there was a stat from CBS Sports Research this week, because the game's on CBS, that if Iowa wins this game, it'll be the longest streak at home Nebraska has lost. It would be 6 straight losses to Iowa.
Wow.
It'll be the longest since I think 1962 or something like that, when they lost 8 straight to Oklahoma at home. So I think that this game is a lot more important to Nebraska than it is to Iowa.
No doubt about that. I won't argue that. I still think it's a big deal though, just because then you'd lost 2 in a row to them and they could run their mouths and that whole crap. Just like Iowa State fans could do to you last year. It's like, well, we still beat you, and all that. Like, it's a fan thing. It's a fan thing.
If I had it my way, I would want to go into this game and just put a bunch of stuff on tape for whoever plays Iowa in the Big Ten championship game. Just do a bunch of stuff that is going to make that prep a little bit harder, make Iowa a little less predictable, because that's what it's all about, right? They're doing this, it's 80% chance they're passing it. They're doing this, 75% chance they're running it. This game, you can take chances in this game. Put some stuff on tape. Give yourself, even if it's minute, just a little bit of an advantage going into the Big Ten championship game, because obviously Michigan and Ohio State can't do that. This is the game for them.
Do you have a feel for it? Give me a pick. I'm
getting out of the sun here. I have no feel for this game because of that. And, I mean, Kirk Ferentz even joked, oh, we won't even bring the starters to the game. I think, what's the total down to? 25? Nebraska's
Is it
favorite.
all the way down there? Jeez.
I picked Iowa to go 9-3, and I'm going to stick with that. I think they lose this game close.
I'm with you.
I think Nebraska gets to bowl eligibility. I think you can – I'm reading into the line a little bit. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm going to say there's a reason this went from Iowa opening up as a 1.5 point favorite to now you're seeing it Nebraska -2, 2.5.
Nebraska might be a 3-point favorite at kickoff in this game.
I'm going to go Nebraska to win this game. I've picked against Iowa before and I've been wrong, but
yeah.
To me, it feels like it's just setting up for a Nebraska win.
I feel the same way. It feels like Iowa's had all these close games. Now you're on the road against a really good defense.
They're starting to Purdy.
They are. Chuba Purdy, baby. He, a little bit on his background, was actually a better prep prospect than his brother was. Goes to Florida State. He's playing behind Jordan Travis there. Wasn't going to get much run. Transfers to Nebraska and Scott Frost, and now he's there with Matt Rule. So he hasn't had much of a college career, but it's still a guy I've had my eye on because obviously he's Brock's brother, but he hasn't played a lot of football. So that's kind of dangerous throwing him against that Iowa defense. But
we have
those other Nebraska quarterbacks suck
Breaking news from Matt Van Winkle. There is a new name for this Iowa-Nebraska game this year. What is it?
The Pioneer Seed Heroes Game.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, Channel.
Both.
See, yeah, I'm glad Channel sponsors us and not a stupid made up rivalry game.
Okay. I hate this Iowa State Kansas State game. I think it's Matt, can you look up and see what Circa currently has this line at? The last I saw was 11.5. I want to go through why I don't like it for Iowa State. There's a few reasons. One, they just don't play well there. Two, Kansas State, in my opinion, might be playing the best football in the Big 12 right now, as of today. Three, Chris, I hate the fact that, one, this is still a young Iowa State team that just got beat up. You were there in a physical game against Texas. And I just don't know how fresh Iowa State's going to be in this one. It's going to be cold. I've talked to strength and conditioning coordinators at Iowa State throughout the years, and they always talk about after you play Iowa, Texas, and Oklahoma, it's a tough recovery because it's just a different level of physicality, specifically up front. And having those two teams back-to-back weeks on the road, it feels to me like, Iowa State's going to show up and, it feels like it. Like in my mind, I told you when they got that 6th win, I was like, man, I'm thrilled. They're playing with house money here. This sets up to me like a Kansas State win. I think they win by double digits.
Line is 10, according to Van Winks.
Okay.
I saw it at 9.5 last night for a bit at one book. So it might be coming down a little bit, but I'm with you. I don't have a good feeling about this game. Kansas State, they still have a pretty legit chance to make the Big 12 championship game.
I have no idea, but it feels like they should. I have no idea who can get into the Big 12.
Out of control.
Jeez. And this is only with
game.
a 14-team league. Imagine when there's 16-team leagues.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
With no division.
Like, we were looking earlier today, someone in the newsroom was asking, if there were no divisions, what would the Big Ten championship game be? It would be a rematch of the game that we're going to get this week. So we're going to get stuff like that in these big conferences where you might, because you don't have divisions, you might already know that this game, like in the NFL, when sometimes teams know week 18 who they're going to play and they're playing them that week too, and you rest your starters. And that regular season game doesn't mean anything. We're going to get that, and we're also going to get these crazy tie-breaking scenarios. And I can't believe Iowa State is still mathematically alive. The fact that that's possible. And I'm sure it's a It's 0.00001% chance, but they've still got a shot.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I think it's like 0.07 chance.
That's
so
higher
less
than
than 1%.
I thought. Yeah. That's a lot higher than I thought, Van Wink. I really didn't think it'd be that high.
Statty Van
Listen,
Wink's got you.
You made a good point in our rundown, Chris, that Matt Campbell and his tenure at Iowa State generally doesn't get blown out.
Yeah.
And what is a blowout here? If you're a 10-point underdog and you lose by 14, probably not considered a blowout. I'm not saying I think they're going to go and lose by 30. I just, when I break these games down, I try and find outs through my head. And this just seems like the worst possible time to head to Manhattan and play a night game when it's freezing cold. There's snow and crap in the forecast. Like, to me, and there's the matchup that I forgot to mention with Malik Verdon being out. There's no team in the Big 12 that you need that run support safety against more than Kansas State. And we've seen when those safeties are out for Iowa State, it's a different defense. I don't know. This feels to me like a game where Kansas State might run for a bunch of yards and Iowa State is, struggling in the fourth quarter. I hope I'm wrong, but I would pick Kansas State by 14 to 17 points in this game.
Do we have any idea how Iowa State's bowl possibilities will change based on a win or a loss this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you win, that's a good question. A lot's going to depend on everything else around you. But I think that if you win, you still have an outside shot at Houston or the Alamo Bowl, depending on, if Texas gets into the playoff and that type of stuff. I think that win or lose, they're more than likely going to go to like a Memphis, something like that, which I'd be totally fine with. Give me Memphis. 30,000 Iowa State fans will go down to that one. You'll get an SEC opponent. That's the best case scenario for them, in my opinion. So to answer your question, yes, but there's no guarantee. Again, a lot's going to depend on how many New Year's Six teams the Big 12 gets. Does Texas get into the playoff? That type of a deal. But I think they'll get into the Liberty because technically Kansas is ahead of them, but Kansas went there last year. So I don't think that. And
because I buttered up that Liberty Bowl guy, the guy that runs the whole thing, when I saw him on the field at Alabama, and he flat out told me, I can't wait to get him back. Let's get him back.
Cyclone Hassel.
You guys see this? The Liberty Bowl is going to get a full renovation. What do you think of this? Williams?
I did, and God, it needs it so bad.
Yeah, that thing looks like it hasn't been touched in 40 years.
It hasn't. You like to complain about press boxes on this show. You haven't lived until you've been in the Liberty Bowl press box. Like the radio ones that we do post-game from that John and Eric and the guys are in, there's barely enough room for the play-by-play color guy and an engineer. We have to squeeze a spotter in there. It is so small. It's a terrible stadium. But again, you don't go to a bowl game, at least in my opinion. You go to have fun with your friends, and that's a place Iowa State fans will travel to. These other ones, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I don't like Iowa State's chances this week. I'm going to go if you can get it at 11.5. I would take Iowa State. Which is where it was, I think, a couple of days ago when we talked. If it starts getting down to 9 in that area, I think I might go Kansas State because I feel like it's going to be about a 10-point game.
I just think Iowa State's going to be so beat up front from that Texas game. It scares me. Let's go our top 3 games of the weekend here, and then we will get into the college basketball as Iowa and Iowa State both have games on Thanksgiving Day. I want to thank our friends at Circa Sports Iowa. I am going to do my picks of the week. I'm going to do a short podcast here later tonight. I will not have Mike Palm this week like I normally do, but my Circa picks will be in. I was going to do them on the show here, but I'll just do them later. It's no big deal. I also want to thank our friends at Terraplex Ag. If you are a farmer out there, you're getting ready to make a big move, remember our friends from Terraplex Ag with their amazing drone technology. Terraplex will come in and they'll teach you how to do everything. These guys are pros. They know exactly what they're doing. Terraplex Ag, check them out. Great Iowans doing awesome things. Last but certainly not least, this will be fun. Van Winkle, he recently interviewed a Disney on Ice character part of our all access.
He's the
from here.
He's the director of the event, so wasn't actually. He's a former performer.
I thought it was going to be like, it's Moana and Van Wink.
He was really disappointed because he's one of those furry fetish guys.
Yeah.
Disney is really the thing that floats his boat, if you know what I mean.
He used to be Flynn Rider from Tangled. You know what I'm talking about, Williams? No,
I've read some Tangled books to Elise. I've never seen the movie, but they got the big Disney on Ice coming up this weekend at the Iowa Event Center in Des Moines.
Van Wink's taking your kids?
Yeah, he's taking my kids. Yeah, on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, we're going Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah, he's taking my kids. That's a good neighbor right there. But I believe some tickets are still available to that. Check it out on HiveyTix.com, where you can get tickets to that with our friends at Iowa Event Center. Top 3 games of the weekend. Hassel, I will let you start.
Are you okay, Williams? It seems like you got an edge to you today.
I have no edge to me. We're just in a hurry. I'm great.
He's in travel mode. It seems like he's a little bit stressed.
Take a breath.
I'm not. I'm fine. I'm not stressed at all. I promise.
Okay. I don't know.
Just trying to get everything done. I got to get Mr. National TV Boy off to his set at the time he told me to. I'm trying to get through our sponsors. Got a great show put together.
I'd like to keep it to 45 minutes or so, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun. Like you're like the Grinch in here. Like, all right, let's move on. Top 3 games of the week. Hassel, what do you have? 2 guys named Chris. Here we are. Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope it's a great time. Hope you have the gravy and the mashed potatoes. I'll buy.
I'm fine.
I think I know what will cheer him up. What's that?
The Green Wave?
Little Tulane fight song, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. That's nice.
Dude,
and that's my game, by the way.
Going to Tulane. Did you see this?
What? Oh,
they're hiring
Cedar Falls to New Orleans pipeline.
Yeah. This is great, and I've known David Harris for like 15 years, so now I can continue my fandom of Tulane. Goes from one AD I know to another. This is fantastic.
The Troy Dannon is
Washington.
Yes, where I'm going this week.
Yeah,
so I might run into him.
Guy. Go. You know Troy at all?
Not well. No.
If you see him, go say hi.
If I see him,
I'm pretty sure he listens.
I'll name drop you. Drop you, and I think maybe he'll talk to me for a minute. This is my game, though. UTSA and Tulane. This is a game that's going to help decide the American Conference Championship. Both of these teams are 7-0 in conference play, and likely the loser of this game is going to be kept out of the American Conference Championship game. The winner is in, but the winner is likely going to face SMU because all SMU has to do, they're also 7-0. All they have to do is beat Navy, and they're a favorite to do that. That's my first game of the week. My second game, we're talking Cox. South Carolina at
Roll
home
Cox
against Clemson. I'm on your mom with this one. 7-point dogs at home. Did you see the video that went pretty viral last week? South Carolina home atmosphere. They had, I believe it was like a live sandstorm performance. Even though South Carolina has had a down season, Clemson has too. Clemson's playing much better, and South Carolina's playing for bowl eligibility and a second straight great finish to a season under Shane Beamer. So I think that one is going to be interesting. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned it, that UTSA Tulane game, that is a Friday afternoon game.
Man, hey, real quick, I got a real quick beef with college football. We got too many games on Friday now.
Oh, really?
We've gone overboard. Gone overboard with it.
Well, I think that's a good conversation. I actually wanted to have this conversation, NFL versus college over Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll get into that after our 3 games of the week. My top game, though, I feel like I'm stealing from you again here, but I left you the big one. Yeah. Florida State at Florida. The line is only 6.5. If Florida State wins out, they're getting in the playoff. But no Jordan Travis. They're going to the swamp. And Florida's a team that's playing for bowl eligibility. And it's been a really disappointing season, but they've shown some fight. They should have beaten Missouri at Missouri, a top 10 team, last weekend. I think this has the potential to be a really interesting setting for both of these teams.
I think you should blindly bet on South Carolina and Florida in these games. Just the rivalry aspect. They're at home, and you can kind of save a crappy season by beating your rival in both of these, especially this Florida State deal. We just have no idea. You go from being a legitimate national title contender to, I don't know what they are. We'll find out.
Our sports line simulations are only giving Florida State a 15% chance to get in the playoff.
Wow.
That's
it dropped
stunning.
off that much?
15%. Yeah.
Man. That's a hard deal, too, if you're in the committee. Because it's like...
I think there is no way that you can keep out Florida State if they win, and even if there's 4 unbeatens, even if
they're 13-0.
Yeah, you can't keep them out. You just can't. Just like I don't believe you can put Alabama in if you're not also putting a 12-1 Big 12 champion Texas in. Like, I saw that game live.
Yeah,
Texas beat Alabama. Don't give me Alabama's a lot better now than they were then. Don't give it to me. They played. Texas beat them by double digits.
Yeah, the results on the field have to matter.
Yes.
Otherwise, what are we doing here? No, those are good. I love the Clemson South Carolina game. My mom will be all hot and bothered.
Ooh,
watching
hot for the Cox.
Yeah, she's going to be all amped up for that one. All right, I'll start with Ohio State, Michigan. Duh, this is the no-brainer. 11 o'clock kick on Saturday. Oregon State at Oregon.
This is a Friday nighter, I believe.
Yeah, you might be right. Just Oregon State, a little bit of a letdown. Couldn't take care of business against Washington last week. Did you see they put out the statement about their coach, that they're trying to sign him long-term, which was really interesting. That's generally not a great sign. But another great rivalry game that by all means is going to be gone from what we know at this point. Hopefully they do what Washington and Washington State did, but at least we haven't seen it now. So that's a fun one. And then I want to watch Colorado at Utah, and hear me out, because we sat in my camper on Friday night and watched Colorado play Washington State, and it looked like a team that had totally just quit. They did not give a shit. And one thing I know about Utah and Kyle Whittingham is that they've been on hard times here the last couple of weeks. It feels like haven't been great, but Whittingham feels like a guy to me that's probably going to be really amped up. I honestly think this is a name your score type game, unless Colorado
should be
different gear. Like I think Utah could win this game by like 50. Like I honestly do.
Utah, they're not ranked anymore, correct?
I don't believe so. I think that's a typo on there. Regardless, if they're just
I know they're not 6th, but I don't think they're ranked.
No, this is a name your score game. This will be in my picks of the week. Like I'm taking Utah like this, and I'm really anxious to see how Dion's team, finishes this thing out, because it's gotten really, really bad. It didn't look like, oh, they're not that talented. It looked like, no, they've actually quit and don't care.
Yeah. There was a Washington State team that had lost 6 straight games, and they just walloped Colorado. Yeah, Utah's down to 7-4 overall, 4-4 in conference, so they've dropped out of the rankings. That's a 2:00 Central? Oh, it's Pac-12 network. Good luck.
Yeah, so nobody's going to be watching that game. Never mind. Let's do our kitchen. Go ahead.
I thought we were going to talk. You know what? Let's save it. We'll save it. We'll save it for next week. The talk about college versus NFL over Thanksgiving weekend.
We can do it now.
Let's save the discussion for next week, because I think it's more of a discussion, more time than we have, because I've got a take on it, and we can talk about it after all the games are done.
See, I like the Black Friday games, but there's too many of them now. It used to be like there's like 6 of them, and they all meant something because they were the only games. Now
refresh my kitchen.
I'm going to refresh my kitchen here, coming up with my friends at kitchenrefreshiowa.com. You don't need to buy new cabinets. Quit it. If your wife's bothering you about, we need new cabinets. No, you don't.
Honey, we need new cabinets. Okay, Brent. That was Brent Bloom bitching to his wife about his new cabinets.
kitchenrefreshiowa.com. You'll do it for like a third of the price, I promise you, and your kitchen's going to look great. I'm going to go second because mine's a basketball take on Iowa, and that can
Mine is also
transition us
basketball.
Oh, okay. All right.
Boy, you're really out of it. I mean, I told you guys.
Yours says forget the run. Start with the
Van
pass.
Wink, help me out here. Van Wink, help me out. Come on, jump in.
He sent a group chat. Said I'm changing my kitchen refresh.
Shit, I'm changing because
I haven't seen
I kind of forgot that it didn't have to be football related. Because I'm gonna be honest here, we kind of talked about it with the Iowa game. I think this is the least interesting weekend of games for Iowa and Iowa State combined all season.
I could see that,
and I hate it because it's the final week, and it's kind of a good thing because Iowa State's already clinched bowl eligibility. Iowa's already clinched a berth in the Big Ten championship game. That is kind of why that is. But I'm more interested in Iowa and Iowa State basketball. And since it's the refresh, I'm going to go with Iowa State basketball. Thank God that you guys are finally going to play a team that has a pulse, because Jesus, who have they put? Van Wink, pull up their schedule.
Grambling's not bad.
And come on, Williams. Come on. What was it, 52-6 at halftime? Look at the teams they played so far.
Was the final.
We were giving TJ shit about it in his office. Green Bay, Lindenwood, Idaho State, and Grambling. Not a single game was within 30 points. Now, he explained why.
Yeah, I did my prep on it. I've been doing prep for tomorrow, and it's an average beat down of 45 points that they've beaten their first four opponents by.
So here's the problem, and it's not a TJ problem. TJ is working with what the selection committee is giving him. What they value Ken Palm. They value your net ranking, and these coaches have figured out that it is more valuable to beat a bad team by 35 than it is to maybe beat a pretty decent team by 3 or lose a tight game to one of the top teams in the country. I mean, the difference in winning a game by 29 and by 37, that might bump you up 2 spots in Ken Palm. So if you can blow out these bad teams like Iowa State has done, that helps your resume. And that sucks, as a fan. And TJ, he was straight about it. He was like, look, that's what we have to do. And until they change the way they go about it, look at Iowa State all the way up at 13 in Ken Palm.
There's 2 big ones. Bart Torvik's the other one, and Iowa State's the number 1 team in the country in that one. So
I'm just happy.
Proof is right there.
I am just happy that Iowa State is going to jump into some competition here, beginning with VCU tomorrow, right? And then who?
It'll be Boise State or Virginia Tech. I would say probably Boise State wins that game. They were a tournament team last year.
This sounds like a tournament based on the competition that Iowa State maybe should win.
I think they would probably be an underdog if they played Texas A&M in the championship.
I think that would be the only team, though, right? They're not going to be an underdog against FAU.
I don't think so.
FAU lost at home to Bryant.
I saw that, yeah. I just saw your guy literally in the hallway when I was coming up here. I almost name-dropped you to the FAU coach.
Oh, did you? Yeah, tell him I said hi.
I'll say hi to him here later on. I didn't have time because I was trying to get up here to record this with you guys. But, yeah, I think Iowa State would be an underdog against Texas A&M. But I haven't.
Is there a look-ahead line yet to the VCU game?
I haven't seen it yet. But
usually they don't do that until late at night or the next
9 to 11 point favorite, I would guess. Here's the thing on this one. This is a crazy stat. Iowa State is number 1 in defensive turnover percentage. So their opponents are turning the ball over on 30% of possessions this year, which is a crazy number. Here's this. VCU is ranked 320th in offensive turnover percentage. They are turning it over on 22% of it. So this is going to be a straight Otzel ball. Just pressure the shit out of it and see what happens. Maddie's saying it's a 9.5.
Yeah.
No, there you go. So, great test for Iowa State. The A&M game, you would notice Hassan Ward being out. I don't think these other games will be too much. That would be a big physical basketball team for Buzz Williams down there, and that would be a real challenge. I think Iowa State could totally beat them. But yeah, that's my hope, is that they get to the championship and would play either, again, Texas A&M. Penn State's down here. There's a lot of good teams in this tournament. 6 of the 8 teams that are in this tournament were all in the NCAA last year. And this is a neat little spot. It's on the Disney campus, and it's a cool gym. And yeah, it'll be fun. And so I'm looking forward to, with Iowa, with my kitchen refresh for the Hawkeyes, I want to see, I kind of feel like we know who they are, but we watched them play against Creighton, and they didn't look too bad. Like, they looked pretty good against Creighton. However, the analytical guy in me would say that was also a very fluky offensive performance, and all these long twos that were falling. And if you know Greg McDermott, he gives you those shots. Like, that is a deal that, and Cricky hit him. Like, to his credit, he was making those. We had to get through this with our brains with Isaiah Brockington a few years ago, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, the long two is not a bad deal if you make it all the time. Mm-hmm. So again, like, I just want to see Iowa against a good defensive opponent, which is Oklahoma. They're not great. They're probably back.
Ben Wink, do we have a look-ahead line for the Iowa game tomorrow? Because I think that game, they're really close to one another. Iowa leads into Iowa State, I want to say.
Yeah, Iowa is a 1-point underdog to Oklahoma.
Okay. About what I thought. I actually thought Iowa would be favored in that, but that's about what I thought. So then who would they play if they get past Oklahoma?
Ben Wink, why don't you pull up that bracket that Iowa's playing? And we just saw the Iowa State bracket. What are they calling your event down there? The Disney event?
It's the ESPN Events Invitational.
There are
So is Iowa's technically a tournament, or is it just they're hosting game? It's not like an official, because they already say that Iowa plays Seton Hall or USC. Okay, so there you go.
Oh, a little Bronny James there in the second game.
Well, he's not playing yet, right?
No, but you get to see him.
See him on the bench?
He'd be on the sidelines rooting against the Hawkeyes.
So it's just a 4 team. Iowa State's is what? Is it a 8 team and this is a 4 team?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there are so many of these freaking tournaments.
Oh my God. Games. And then there's one tournament. There's one tournament that we've been talking about quite a bit on HQ because it's on CBS Sports Network. And I think that the championship game is tonight, James Madison against Fresno State. And it has 2 different divisions. There's like a beach division, and then there's like a pool division. Yeah. And the divisions don't play each other. Like, they put all of these like lesser teams in the pool division, like these really low major teams. And then the James Madisons, the Mountain West teams, they're in the Ocean Division. So they're playing for it's called the Riviera Division Championship tonight. But it's not. It's called the Cancun Challenge. And that's where they play it, in that ballroom down in the Riviera Maya. And so you can't call it the Cancun Championship game, Cancun Challenge Championship. It's the Cancun Challenge Riviera Division Championship. And then there's another division championship, like the Ocean Division or the Pool Division or whatever, for Chicago State playing Wofford or something.
Oh God, yeah, one of those types of deals.
But look,
I love this.
These are among, other than outside of the Iowa State game, these are among the best non-conference games of the season, and sometimes they're even better than conference games. It's
Dude,
fun.
Maui had
Maui last night. Maui last night had 4 of the top 7 teams in the country playing in the semifinals.
Yeah, we just saw Tennessee and Kansas playing a consolation game.
Yeah, and this is what it takes to get someone like me, I'm always really hard to yank over into basketball mode. Like I'm setting I'm football. We're still in the regular season. Get out of here with your college basketball. But it's stuff like this that will pull me in and get me interested. And Iowa going on the road and playing at Creighton, that got me interested. We need more of this in college basketball. And I'm afraid we're not going to get it until they change the way they go about these rating systems and what rating systems they value.
The Iowa thing, like, we got a taste of them, but I just don't know how realistic. That game seemed a little bit fluky to me. So I want to see them. I mean, I think they could absolutely beat Oklahoma. I don't think that Oklahoma's going to be – they're going to be a bubble team at best. So Iowa –
Where's Oklahoma picked in the Big 12? They picked bottom third of the Big 12 this season, I would guess.
Yeah, it's like
as
eighth or worse.
as maybe like a fringe bubble team.
Correct. Yeah, that's where they're supposed to be. So this will be that's still a good test for this Iowa squad, and I want to see again against good teams how are they going to do what they do. They've looked really good so far in the non-conference. All right, Matty Van Winks wanted to do this. I've already had Thanksgiving dinner.
What?
I've already eaten Thanksgiving dinner.
We are recording this at 4:45 Eastern time on Wednesday. So you had to eat earlier today because you're playing tomorrow. Well, not you, but the team.
Yep.
What was on your plate?
Hey,
it was fantastic.
What kind of was it like a buffet thing that they got catered into the hotel?
It was the best sweet potatoes I've ever had. Just phenomenal. You guys like the sweet potatoes? With the mushrooms, or not the mushrooms, the
marshmallows.
Marshmallows, not mushrooms. Yeah, I was going to green bean casserole that's got mushrooms in it next.
I hate sweet potatoes.
What?
I refuse. I don't like sweet. Like I won't even eat sweet potato fries.
What?
I'm that anti sweet potatoes. I love baked potatoes. Baked potatoes are among my favorite foods in the whole world. Like you get me a good baked potato with a salted and oiled skin, and I will eat that whole thing.
Eat the skin? Eat the skin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like the skin, too.
Give me that skin.
Should we get into the top five? Top 5 Thanksgiving foods?
Yeah, Williams, why don't you get us started on your top 5
well, I got
Thanksgiving
the
dishes.
sweet potatoes
Thanksgiving
right
power
there.
rankings.
Yeah,
what?
Sweet potatoes number 1. But you
no,
gotta have
pumpkin pie number 1.
Or no, number 5. I'm going up to number 1.
What in the hell?
You gotta have the marshmallows on the top, though. You know they gotta be like
marshmallows
melted in
on
there.
A sweet potato. Is that like a casserole?
No, they're kind of mashed up.
Okay,
it's kind of like you're eating mashed potatoes, but they're sweet potatoes and they're very sweet.
It's almost like a dessert. It's like a dessert.
It tastes like a dessert. Matt's right.
Your rankings, because I'm seeing all 5 of them right now. If you're watching us on video, are bad. Like your 3, 4, and 5 are terrible.
Green bean casserole.
Oh, get out of here.
4.
That is such a Midwestern Iowa garbage.
You guys you don't know what garbage is? Look at your face. That's what garbage is. Number 3, dark turkey. I like the dark meat.
So you want to grab a leg and just gnaw on it. When I was a kid, I used to. My grandpa would have one leg, I would have the other, and then he would also eat the gizzard and the heart and the neck. He would eat
Who ate the
all
sphincter?
of it. Oh yeah, he ate the sphincter first. Loves himself some turkey butt.
Tongue in it.
I think they say the dark turkey is supposed to be a little more moisture, right?
Oh yeah, it's the dark meat's real moist.
The white turkey is just a little too dry, but it's okay. Keep going.
Okay, I'll explain how I make sure that it's not too dry when I go. So you got sweet potato 5, green bean casserole 4, dark turkey 3.
It's mashed potatoes and gravy's easy, number 2.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I'm a pumpkin guy. Pumpkin pie is number 1. It's the greatest.
That's number 1 on your Thanksgiving foods.
I want the pumpkin pie. I want it all the time, and I want more.
I like pumpkin pie, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest too much.
It's
like
elite.
I said, gaping too much the other day. Pumpkin pie is not even my favorite Thanksgiving pie.
To me, there's a gaping difference between pumpkin pie and any other pie on Thanksgiving. Just a massive, gaping, wide open.
Now,
difference.
you won't eat the pumpkin pie with the food, right? You wait until
you got to wait.
That's dessert. Okay. All right.
In fact, I like to wait a little bit, let the food settle a little bit. I don't want it right after I eat.
I'm with you on that. Like you shouldn't save room because you probably had maybe some appetizers too. You want to be able to kind of get enough of the good stuff.
Go
and
take
then wait
a shit.
around a little bit for dessert.
Go take a crap. Make a little more room.
All right. Now
Am I wrong?
mine.
What? What did you say that for?
What?
You don't go and take a big dump after you've eaten.
Food doesn't work that way, Williams. It takes more than 5 minutes to digest food where it's coming out the other end, okay? Do you have mine, Van Wink? All right, here's mine. My number 5 Thanksgiving food, turkey.
White or dark?
White.
Explain how you like your turkey.
So this is a low ranking. Like this isn't top 5. Like these are playoff foods. No, this is low. I don't have many dishes on Thanksgiving. Turkey is at the bottom. I will only eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I will not eat turkey any other day of the year because I don't particularly like it.
Guy I would rather have eating dinner with just told me the same thing. That's wild.
Yeah,
I love turkey.
Like, you what?
I love turkey any time of year.
Yeah, I'll never have like a turkey sandwich. I just won't do it. And I won't have leftovers. I will not have leftover turkey.
What are you?
It's not going to happen.
Communist?
The thing I would rather have for the main course is ham. That is my number 4 Thanksgiving food. Nice little honey ham. Again, kind of you only want it on Thanksgiving. That's the only day. Number 3, pecan pie.
This is a trash move.
I used to hate pecan pie, but it's an acquired taste for me. I enjoy it now.
One of the managers on the team last night was telling me that his mom makes it's a combination of pumpkin and pecan pie. You ever heard of that?
Wow. No, I would try that though.
The best way to do it is a cheesecake, pumpkin pecan cheesecake. You do the pecan crust.
Pumpkin pecan
you know what?
cheesecake. Okay.
You make me a pumpkin pecan cheesecake, put a little eggplant emoji on that, and then I'm ready to go.
Of course, you're a pecan guy. I'm surprised you don't pronounce it pecan pie. It's pecan. I didn't have it until I went and visited my wife's grandparents down in Oklahoma when I was about 25. But it's great. Number 2. This is the same number 2 that you had, Williams.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have mashed potatoes and gravy very often. When I want potatoes, it's usually a baked potato. But on Thanksgiving,
you eat the skin. He eats the skin.
On Thanksgiving, give me the mashed potatoes and the gravy. But number 1, and it's not even close.
This is just terrible.
Is the stuffing. The stuffing is elite, and by far the best thing about food on Thanksgiving. If you do it right, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. I've loved every one I've tried. Stuffing is fantastic. So you were talking about the white meat turkey is too dry.
I like it moist. I like it real moist.
So you gotta have a little bit of stuffing on your fork, have a little bit of turkey on your fork, and a little bit of mashed potatoes and gravy all in one bite. That's perfect.
So are you on your plate? Do you like to mix things, or do they have to be separated?
I would rather have them separated. I'm not one of those insane people that mixes up. We've got a producer here at work. His name is Noah, and we had a Thanksgiving meal last week at work where they brought in all the fixings for us, and I just grabbed some stuffing. That's all I wanted. He seriously, he took a spoon and he mixed everything up like a little kid. You do that too?
I don't do that, but I could do that if
my kid did that, I would slap him so hard. I'd slap him all the way to Christmas.
I just had something delicious, so I just talked about this meal they brought us. It was fantastic. Have you ever had pecan vinaigrette salad dressing?
I have not. But
it was phenomenal
on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
wait, pecan or like a walnut? Pecan dressing? No.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Never had it.
Stuffing to me is the most overrated shit that I've ever eaten in my life. I don't know. It's fine.
It's so good.
It's okay.
The breading, some of it has like great celery, bacon. It's really good if done right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you got to do it.
It has to be done right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the box stuff.
Matt, did we miss anything here?
No. Can I get into my 5 though?
Yeah. Let's see it.
Well, I didn't really do mine in an specific order, but I do love pumpkin pie. I could probably down a whole pumpkin pie, honestly. I've probably been known to eat a whole pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving once or twice.
Pumpkin pie was always my favorite until I discovered pecan pie.
I thought about doing all pies for my favorite Thanksgiving food because I feel like pie is Thanksgiving. Like they're hand in hand.
Yes.
Apple pie. I do like a French silk pie. Give me any pie. Corn casserole is my
guy. What is corn casserole? That sounds disgusting.
It's like a corn baked dish. It's like
it's like stuffing, but it's got corn in it, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I hate corn. I only
Maybe like a
sweet
cornbread type consistency.
Sweet corn on the cob is all I'll do. I will not, because it's probably canned corn.
You can do whatever kind of corn you want. It's just like stuffing. You could dress it up if you want. I put turkey on there.
In your miserable casseroles. Like, get out of here.
I don't like green. I hate green
casserole
dishes.
You leave Iowa, and now you're just shitting all over your roots.
No, I mean, I want a loose meat sandwich. Hell, I'd have a loose meat sandwich every night of the week.
I'm kind of with you, though, with the ham, though. I like ham at Thanksgiving, but I don't eat it any other time. I'm like you with turkey. I love bread, so I put dinner rolls. A good dinner roll.
I thought about putting some form of bread or dinner roll on my list.
I could eat bread all day. I love carbs. And mashed potatoes and gravy, number one. That's
so
the best.
Mashed potatoes and gravy was top 2 in all 3 of ours.
Solid.
And I think that was the only constant among our 3 power rankings of 5.
Yukon Gold potatoes are my number 1 too. Those little little ones, Yukon Golds.
What are they, prepackaged?
No, they're just a little more rich, a little more buttery, a little softer.
So the potatoes come in a package?
Yeah, you can get like in a little bag.
We have one of those.
It's different than like a russet potato where it's just that brown skin. Those are good too, but I like the Yukon Golds the best.
We had one of those meals last night where they bring it in like 5 courses. You ever had one of them?
But this wasn't your Thanksgiving meal. What kind of meal was this?
No, this was last night. This was at a seafood place.
Ooh.
And I didn't realize. A friend told me that you're supposed to pace yourself at these so you're not just stuffed by the end.
Well, yeah.
Like, I didn't know that.
Did you not know it was going to be like a 5-course thing?
No, I had no idea. I'd never been to a restaurant that nice.
What kind of restaurant was it?
Nice place here at the Palms.
What's it called? Give them some love.
More, Moor.
More. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out when I'm in Orlando. Are you downtown Orlando?
No, I don't. We're in Kissimmee. Is that? Did I pronounce that right? Kissimmee.
Kissimmee.
Okay, whatever.
Kissimmee.
We're like 5 minutes from Disney. It's the Gaylord Palms. It's a huge campus. Like, there's a million kids here. You would hate it.
Oh,
because it's like
terrible.
There's this giant Christmas festival going on here where there's like elves walking around and it's wild.
There's a Christmas festival on Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
What?
These
this
giant
is the problem
trees.
with our country.
My daughter Cameron, man, she gets so pissed at Christmas promotion before Thanksgiving's over. We're not thankful for anything.
We have our Christmas tree up already.
Look, if
all
you want to do
decorated.
that, whatever. I don't agree with it, but if you want to do that, fine. But like to have a huge Christmas party the week of Thanksgiving?
In fact,
and this is an early Thanksgiving too. It's the 23rd.
There's signs all over this hotel that just say "More Christmas" everywhere. It's like they're addicted to it. Hey, wild deal. Watch this on your flight. I downloaded the Netflix. It came out like 10 months ago. It's like a 3-part series on that Malaysian flight that went missing.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh my God.
I watched that a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah, it's wild.
Jeez. I was watching that while in the air yesterday. I don't know if that
I'm
was
sure you think
anxiety.
some alien came and ate it or something. Just some big alien with a big mouth just ate the plane.
I haven't come to my conclusion yet. I'm not sure where
anyone. I don't. It's pretty clear nobody really knows what happened.
You know what I've been watching? What happened 60 years ago today?
Oh, the JFK assassination.
JFK. There's a new
is there
National
a documentary?
Geographic to put a new documentary 3-part series out.
On what?
A National Geographic, I believe.
It's on the Disney.
You have to download a National Geographic.
I think they have a National Geographic channel, but I think the first part's on YouTube. But
it's Nat Geo's on Disney Plus. Should be able to find
Disney
it
Plus. You know why? Because I don't need it. Because I ain't got kids. It's the one streaming service I don't need.
Well, we'll have
I feel
a fun
like
day.
your attitude kind of improved after I called you out.
No, it's great. No, I was just worried about getting you back to work, to be honest. Like that was it. I was trying to be a good friend.
Thanksgiving food coma, maybe.
That too. I'm actually, you know what I did, Hassel? You're rubbing off on me. The first thing I did when we got here yesterday is I went down to the exercise room.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I was very out of place. I was with the Boise State basketball team. They were all with their shirts off lifting.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did you have your Chris Hassel signature headband on?
No, I'm not a douchebag.
What'd you do? You go on. You probably went on.
No, I just jumped on the bike because they had some Pelotons.
I knew you were a bike guy.
Well, I have a Peloton at home, so it's like I can keep going with the, with the workout plan and all that stuff. But yeah, I was like, man, I gotta get some. I'm gonna actually go back down there after we do the show and stuff too, because I gotta.
You know what you could probably do instead of working out to lose some weight? Get back on your old diet. Just twice a day, colon blow.
Oh my God. I don't think my insides could handle it, honestly. I think I'd just start dripping.
Uh-oh. Looks like they're stirring back there. I think they might need me.
Okay. Hassel's going live right now.
Hey, did Kansas win?
I don't know. They were losing last I saw. Big 12's having a rough non-con, man.
Van Wink, check the Kansas score real quick. I need to know before we log off.
Kansas wins 69-60 over Tennessee.
All right. That was my lock of the day. I gave it to the whole newsroom. It was the Chris Hassel Play of the Year. And so I'm going to be a hero when I walk out back into the newsroom. Hero.
He is Chris Hassel. He is Matt Van Winkle. My name is Chris Williams. Thank you so much. We're thankful for all of you.
Yes, we are.
Here on Iowa Everywhere. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll be back on Monday. Later.